muted. Big up, everyone. Welcome to a new channel. My wrestling channel. So my new wrestling channel, my second channel. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of professional wrestling. So I'll be bringing you. This is my first video. We're going to be basically doing the SummerSlam preview on this video today, and and I'm going to talk about my gripes with pro wrestling right now as well. I've got a lot of gripes about pro wrestling I want to talk to you guys about as well, and my likes and hates of wrestling as it stands in 2026. But about chat, man, I know this is a new thing. Probably won't have a lot of people here, but we will be working on it, and hopefully do many more shows in the future as well. I'll be doing a SummerSlam reaction after night one, a SummerSlam reaction after night two. And then hopefully from next week, Raw and SmackDown reviews as well. And then any kind of breaking news in the wrestling world, we will be bringing you as well. Not everything will be live. Some things will be like pre-recorded videos as well. So yeah, it's going to be hopefully an exciting journey. And I hope you guys can join me alongside that journey while we talk about professional wrestling. And yeah, it's going to be good, man. It's going to be a fun one. I love pro wrestling, man. I've been watching pro wrestling now for about, how old am I now? I'm 44. So I've been watching pro wrestling for about 30 plus years. I love pro wrestling. I love how stupid pro wrestling is. I like how people take pro wrestling extremely seriously. Yeah, I just love the silliness, the greatness, the cheesiness, the everything about pro wrestling that I think is needed, and especially in this day and age of everything being taken too seriously. But unfortunately, pro wrestling has been taken seriously now as well, and everyone has got their gripes and their hates, and it's all getting a bit silly up there, man. But yeah, I'm going to talk to you about SummerSlam today, and then I'll get into more of my thoughts of wrestling right now. Big up Connor as well, man. Yeah, we're going to talk about Downhausen. Big up Daz. Big up Chains, man. Not watching this Lesnar broke the streak. Nick Haddis wins to the Twitter crasher. Yeah, same, man. Brand new. Big up, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you are doing good. So what I'm just trying to bring up now, because I have got obviously, I think I saw the match orders here, because a night one card and a night two card have been announced, and it's a bit, I don't know, I think it's a bit, I think Saturday's card is too stacked and Sunday's card is not stacked enough. But yeah, let's talk about it. So let's have a look. So Sunday's card, Sunday's card's weak, man. Weak as shit, I ain't gonna lie. But Saturday's card looks pretty decent. Big up Josh, man. So hoping that you got a channel like this. I went to Clash of the Castle in 2022. Had a few live WWE events as well. Hope you're good, man. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Generally, me and you would move quicker in the ring than the best. Yeah, but we don't look as pretty, Connor. You don't. You don't look as pretty. Do you know what I mean? So I'm looking at night one, Saturday night's card for SummerSlam. Obviously, I believe, is this the first 2-night SummerSlam event? I think it's the first 2-night SummerSlam event. Correct me if I'm wrong there. I can't remember. But night one is stacked. So we have got the Usos and Jacob Fatu versus Royce Keys, LA Knight, and Solo Sikoa, who at this moment in time might actually be my favorite wrestler in all of WWE right now. Solo Sikoa, man's hilarious. We've got Fake the Influence versus Nikki Bella, Brie Bella, and Paige, which, yeah. We've got Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. Io Sky, for me, between 2023 and 2025, I believe, was the best professional wrestler in the world, man or woman, at that time. in any company, anywhere. I literally think Io Sky is the best professional wrestler, no matter what, between 23 and 25. In 2026, Io has just become a side character, and that's all she does. All right. It really. The one thing I will say about WWE, guys, yeah, and I love WWE. It's my company, right? I like AEW. I like MLW. I like them all, yeah. I like House of Glory, New Japan, Noah, whatever you want to watch, I like, yeah. But I'm always going to be a WWE guy, right? But the one thing that really pees me off, right, sometimes is that they saw the reaction of her doing that emote, yeah, when she goes like that, right? And now she overdoes it. She overdoes it. She's come like a side character. For me, Io Sky is the best women's wrestler in this company, pound for pound, man. Pound for pound, she's the best female wrestler in this company. And now they've just got to be in this like funny side character, and I don't want to see that. I think there's potential her and Liv Morgan could have a banger of a match at SummerSlam. So hopefully we get to see that. Obviously, Hell in a Cell, Brock Lesnar and Obafemi on Saturday night as well, which is going to be absolute. I hope we'll get into the preview of that in a minute. I hope that is like 10 to 15 minutes long. It doesn't need to be long. These are two 300-pound men. It's meat slapping meat. That's basically what it is, yeah? What is it Booker T says? No bread, no water, just meat. Right? That's what it is. And that's all we need. That is all we need. So, yeah, I'm hoping that is going to be a barn burner. Then we got what is slowly becoming the most intriguing match on the whole SummerSlam card through both nights. And that is Gunther versus Nick Aldis. They have on SmackDown last week. They booked this so well the last couple of weeks. This is my most this is the match I'm looking forward to the most. Apart from the Hell in a Cell match, this is the match I'm looking forward to the most. I think they booked this brilliantly so far. I think this has actually been one of the best booked matches on the whole SummerSlam card. Aldis and Gunther. You know, they look like they really hate each other, which is good. That's how you want to feel. You want that feeling of them really hating each other. When I look at the whole pay-per-view card, night 1, night 2, Lesnar and Oba look like they legitimately hate each other. Gunther and Aldis look like they legitimately hate each other. What other match on this cut on these 2 nights have got that same kind of where it looks like 2 guys just want to beat the shit out of each other? There's none. Why? And this is why they're getting the most welcomed now. This is why people are looking at this match in the last week or so. Go, you know what? I'm looking for. Yeah, Roman and Seth maybe, but it's all big brother, little brother, ain't it? It's a bit. You know what I mean? Do I play 2K games? No, I don't really like wrestling games. Weirdly, I liked them back in the day. WCW, NWO Revenge. And WCW No Mercy. Is it WWE No Mercy? Probably the 2 greatest wrestling games ever. But nowadays, no. And then the other match, the main event of night 1, which I'm a little bit surprised about. I actually thought this might be the main event of night 2. But the main event of night 1 is CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. Now, I'm intrigued by this matchup because it's CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. You know we're going to get a great match, guys. This is going to be a great match, no matter what. You know, these are 2 very good professionals, extremely good professional wrestlers. You know you're going to get a worthy main event here. I am shocked it's not the night 2 main event. I'm also a bit shocked that they kept it till Mania because unless the match goes a certain way, I don't think I need to see this match again after. I don't think I need to see the rematch at WrestleMania. The reason before that, when I get to the previews in a minute, is that there's no story here. There's no story. There's no hate. You know, they're trying, but I just don't believe it. So, yeah. And then night 2, which is, so usually at WrestleMania, when we have 2 nights, yeah, when we have a 2-night show at WrestleMania, Sunday night is usually the better night They have a Saturday night where they'll have 1 or 2 matches that everyone wants to see, and the rest is just filler. And then Sunday night is usually great match, great match, great match, great match, great match. Usually at every Mania, that's been the case. Well, for SummerSlam, they thought, fuck that. So night 2 for SummerSlam, it's just shit. Really is. So we got Trick Williams versus the returning Baron Corbin, who's not had a match yet. He's barely cut a promo. He's barely done anything. He's interfered in Trick Williams' matches a couple of times since his comeback. He had a thing after SmackDown went off the air last week. And SmackDown went off the air. Trick Williams got attacked, and and out of nowhere, he's now #1 contender for the US title. Weird, really weird. Makes no sense. But I do like Baron Corbin. When Baron Corbin went to NXT and formed that tag team with Bron Breakker, was it the Mad Dogs or something like that? They were fantastic. And Baron Corbin started to find his level. His ring work got far better. His microphone skills got far better. He's probably got the best finisher in pro wrestling, in my opinion. His finisher is elite. He's got an elite level finisher that he can do on anybody. It's just a weird match coming out of nowhere. Then we got arguably one of the Wolf Dogs. That's it. Jane, what do you think of AEW tonight? I will watch Dynamite. I'm going to get to my AEW and WWE stuff after the preview, because I've got some things I want to say about that while we're live here today. Penta versus Chad Cable. This should be everything. Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn should be a quality wrestling match. No story. It's a #1 contenders match. We'll get to it in a minute. I'm just going through the card. Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio on Human Money's on a pole match. What are we doing? Is Vince Russo back? And then obviously we've got the ladder match for the interim women's title with one name left to be decided. That will be on SmackDown Friday. And then Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins is the true main event of SummerSlam, according to WWE. Right, let's do this though, guys. Big up the chat. Make sure you're getting your predictions in as well. I want to see your predictions. So we're going to go night 1 first. What I'm going to do, I'll share the screen. We'll do this together. Let's do this together. Let's go night 1. Let's not mess about here. Let's not mess around. Enlarge it. Oh, I don't think you can enlarge it right. It's all right. It's all right. So let's do night 1 here, guys. Let's start off with the Usos and Jacob Fatu versus Keys, Knight, and Sikoa. That's where we're kicking off, guys. Now, big up Connor in the chat, man. Me and Connor DM quite a bit about wrestling and that. And the one thing I will say, I am quite entertained by the LA Knight and Solo Sikoa partnership in recent weeks. Solo Sikoa as a baby face could actually work. Yeah, be out Bonkers in the chat, man. Be out John Conway in the chat. Solo's getting over as a babyface. Do you know why? Because he's actually funny. He's actually really funny. He's comedic. He's got great comedy timing. He's actually the funniest. Apart from R-Truth, I'd say he's the best sort of funniest character in WWE right now. He's hilarious. The way he speaks, the way he takes the mick out of people. All right, his ring work is not the best. If his ring work was a little bit better, he could be a top player. But I'm really liking what he's doing right now. LA Knight's found a bit of form again. LA Knight got lost for about 18 months. He even may speak of that in one of his promos, But I think this has rejuvenated LA Knight a little bit. It's not where we want to see LA Knight as LA Knight fans. We want to see him higher up the card in the future. But this is a big match because you're in there with the bloodline. And as far as WWE concerned, the bloodline are all and be all of everything right now. So this is a big match in the eyes of WWE. It might not be a big match in the eyes of maybe LA Knight fans and that out there, but as WWE look at it, this is the bloodline. It's a big match. Yeah, Solo's hilarious. He has a little bit, yeah. I think the feud has been good so far. I've been liking the feud. I will say this about Royce Keys, yeah. Tell you what, Royce Keys slowly getting over with the crowd. Good promos in the last couple of weeks. That promo he did on SmackDown a couple of weeks ago, I believe it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, was absolutely fantastic. Brody, what are you doing? It's here. Don't know, mate. Wait. I don't know, mate. Sorry, guys. So yeah, he's Royce Keys is he's getting better. His promos are very good. He's getting over with the crowd. He's good in the ring. He's got that quality spine buster, which I absolutely love. He does. He's going to be a player soon. He's got a big match here. Now, this is his first big match in WWE. Let's be fair here. It's a big match. He's with, LA Knight and Solo Sikoa versus the Bloodline. This is quite a marquee match in the eyes of WWE. So, yeah, keep an eye on this match, guys. But I'm going Bloodline in this. I can't see Bloodline losing a match. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like Bloodline win this. I actually think Solo Sikoa will be the reason the Bloodline win this match. There's a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people talk about it today there, where Solo is being so like babyface right now. It's so he swerves everyone and joins the Bloodline again. Because I'm looking at it right now. I think what WWE want to do, let me know what you think in the chat, guys. I honestly think what WWE want to do is get all the Bloodline back together as one big, massive group. I don't think they want separate bloodlines. I think they want one gigantic bloodline group eventually. Now, I don't know if it'll be this weekend, but there's a little bit of me thinking Solo might mess up on accident and it lets the Bloodline win this match. You've got the Jacob Fatu factor as well. Jacob Fatu does not like Jey Uso. Get in line. No one likes Jey Uso. Jacob Fatu might be a reason why. Yeah, I could see it on two hands. Solo Sikoa is the reason the Bloodline win, or Jacob Fatu is the reason the Bloodline loses. Something that, whatever they're going to do with that creative. I can't just see it being like a clean, easy win. But I am going for the Bloodline, man. And I'm sort of done with the Bloodline right now. But I'm done with them, yeah. Going for the Bloodline on that one. Fatal Influence versus Nikki, Brie, and Paige. No one gives a shit. JC Jane should be in the world title picture, not in a 6-way. I'm just putting it out there right now. When Fatal Influence debuted on the main roster a month or so ago, they pushed them right to the top straight away. And JC Jane was wrestling the top women in this company straight away. And she looked like she belonged. She's got the look. She's got the ability in the ring. She's got the gift of the gab. She can talk on the mic. She's got great presentation. She should have won her qualifying match to be in the world title ladder match. It's a mistake, in my opinion, not to put her in that match. I'll get to I think they're going to put in that match in a minute. But yeah, it's a joke. The Bellas and Paige do not need to win this match at all. The Bellas and Paige do not need to win this match. Bellas are the Bellas. No one cares about Brie and Nikki Bella's win-loss record. Who the fuck is sitting there looking at Nikki and Brie Bella's, win-loss record? No one cares. They just like to look at Nikki and Brie. No one really cares about their matches. Nikki maybe a little bit. I think Nikki as a singles wrestler, as a heel, has got some worth to her and some money behind her if you put her in the right spot. And that's why I'm going with Fatal Influence to win this match, because I think Nikki Bella is going to turn on Paige. That is my I think the Bellas turn on Paige in this match. I think Nikki Bella's going to initiate it, and then Brie will just copy what Nikki does because she's her twin. But that's what, in my opinion, is going to happen. And then we're going to get a Nikki Bella versus Paige feud going for the rest of the year, because Nikki Bella is better as a heel. Nikki Bella is actually a decent heel. Paige needs a singles run with a pretty strong heel, and I think Nikki Bella versus Paige is actually you could have quite a good feud there and some good matches, and then that's what I'm going with, man. So I'm going to go for Fatal Influence with the win, and then a Nikki and Brie heel turn on Paige after that match. I'm going to go for the Bellas and Paige to win. Joyce Jane's too good for this shit. Me and Jay talk about her because she's all the time. Yeah, she's awesome. I could see Solo turning on and Royce. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at as well. Fatal Influence to win. Oh yeah, Connor thinks the same as me. There you go. Bella's going to turn on Paige after this loss. I believe they are as well. And then we'll go get the Bellas and Paige and AJ. Maybe AJ comes back. I'd like to see a Paige versus Nikki Bella one-on-one match first and see that happens after them. I'm going to go for Fatal Influence. Then Nikki and Brie kick the shit out of Paige. I agree. Yeah, I think we all see it coming. Big up, Noel, man. How you doing? Been a while, my friend. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, like and subscribe, guys. As I said, this is my first ever video on my second channel, my wrestling channel. We're going to try and kick it, get this going. So make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe. Right, so we have got in the first match, we have got the Bloodline to win. Second match, we've got Fatal Influence to win, but we believe there will be a heel turn in that match where the Bellas turn on Paige. Right, this is the fun one. Io Sky versus Liv Morgan. Now, Liv Morgan has not defended her title in 100 days. Now, I'm not so bothered about this sort of shit because you see it on wrestling social. If you're a wrestling fan, you watch it. You're reading a lot of social media and a lot of stuff on wrestling and that, and a lot of the content creators and people like that are going ape shit. She's like, no defenses, no defenses. I grew up here in an era of watching professional wrestling where people didn't defend their belt every month. I grew up in an era 30 odd years ago when I used to watch Hulk Hogan only defend his title, on live TV, not house shows, but on live TV or pay-per-views, maybe, 4 times in 6 months. They're defending their title every night on house shows, but that's a house show thing. On live broadcast TV or pay-per-views, it'd be like 4 times in 6 months or something mad like that. I'm not bothered about it so much. I don't care about how many title defenses you have. I don't care if a wrestler wins a title and defends it every week for 5 weeks, only to lose it on the 6th week. I look at it as as pointless as not defending it. So it don't bother me so much. Here's the thing, though. Liv Morgan don't need to be champion. I think Io Sky needs the belt right now. I think Io Sky is drowning at the moment, which is a word I would never thought I'd use against Io Sky. Personally, I think Io Sky on her day is the best female wrestler in the WWE. But she's drowning at the moment. I think she needs a title. With Raquel winning the Intercontinental title the other night on Monday Night Raw, which, by God, there were some good matches on Monday Night Raw, but my God, the booking and that Danhausen thing, mate, I actually turned the telly off. First time I've done that in ages. With Liv Morgan, with Raquel winning the Intercontinental title, and there's been a little. I don't know if you've noticed it, guys, but the way they're booking Judgment Day at the moment, Liv's the leader of Judgment Day quite clearly. And they've been booking a little bit of dissent between Raquel and Liv. Like Raquel and Liv are going a bit, a little bit of dissent between the two of them. A lot of people thought it'd be Roxanne. Like Roxanne would come in and she would be the one kicking up a fuss and it'd be Roxanne versus Liv eventually. I think they're doing it Raquel and Liv. And I actually think that's the better way because Raquel and Liv have more history. Raquel and Raquel and Liv have no history. There's what's her name? Good God, it's gone out of my head. But Raquel and Liv have a lot of history. Yeah, Raquel Rodriguez and Liv, they have a lot of history from NXT days to tag title days to being friends on and off screen. You know, there's chemistry there. So I think with her winning the Intercontinental title, I'd have Liv lose here, give the title to Io Sky, and then Liv is titleless. Liv don't have a belt, and she's meant to be the leader of Judgment Day, but Raquel now has got the Intercontinental title. So I think you could make that into a feud in the coming weeks, maybe up to Survivor Series or something like that. So I'm going with Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan losing the Women's World title to Io Sky at SummerSlam. And we need to get Io back and running, man. Oh, yeah, Attitude Era was the greatest time ever. Ruthless Aggression Era was good as well. Io to win, she needs to win, I agree. Raw's Women's Division needs Becky Lynch back ASAP. Let Io feud with Becky for the title post SummerSlam. It's a good shout. No, I'm not against that. I'm Lyra Valkyria, a heel Lyra Valkyria as well. How she go? Look in the picture. Her and Bailey are having matches on a house show the other night. So I don't think Bailey's going anywhere at the moment. I think what WWE are trying to do is to work out if Bailey's staying. If Bailey's staying and signs a new contract, I think they carry on the Lyra Valkyria and Bailey feud. If Bailey leaves and goes to AEW, I think they'll start putting Lyra Valkyria back into the put her into the world title picture, because you know you need some heels in that world title picture, and she's the new heel in town. She's a very good professional wrestler as well. Let's face it. So yeah, I'm going for Io there to be new women's world champion. It's an interesting, and this is my most interesting match of the whole thing: Gunther versus Nick Aldis. Gunther really can't afford to lose this match. Since Gunther retired John Cena and that, he's not really been booked that well, in my opinion. Now, how do you book Gunther after retiring Cena? How do you then book him after defeating and retiring AJ Styles at Royal Rumble? That's all good. Quality matches, yeah. Retired two greats, all right. He's got this legend killer gimmick now, like Randy Orton. What do you do next? How do you go about this next with Gunther? They put him in the world title picture straight after he lost every WWE match. He made it look like a bit of a donut. Let's be fair. Booked strangely, booked weirdly, not correctly after the year he had before. Gunther can't afford to lose this match. Gunther cannot afford to lose to Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis ain't had a match in 3 years. There's going to be a lot of WWE fans who don't know who Nick Aldis is, who wouldn't have gone back and watched his TNA days, his NWA days, or his days when he's a gladiator in UK's version of Gladiators, which not a lot of people might have known that, but he was a gladiator in the UK version of Gladiators back in the day. Or was he in the US Gladiators? He was in the American Gladiators, weren't he? Something like that. He was a gladiator anyway. So some people in the WWE might have not seen him, do anything in the ring. So, I think what they've done really lately is really good. The way they builded Nick up last week on SmackDown is good. Telling the world that this guy was an NWA heavyweight champion. This guy's no mug. You can see by the size of him as well. It's like 6'4", 260. He can go. He can do. He's good in the ring, man. Nick Aldis is a good wrestler. I've been looking forward to it, and maybe this is a way of getting Nick Aldis as a professional wrestler now, and not a general manager anymore in WWE. Maybe Nick wants to wrestle again now. Maybe Nick wants to tie him up again for permanently, and not be a GM anymore. I've got my things about this. I think I I think we're going to have a Nick Adlis team versus who's the Raw general manager, guys? It's gone out of my head. Let me know who the Raw general manager is while I just quickly read these. Be it Ashley Knows Jamie, as a rival fan from the Copper Show on Thursday is one of my favourite shows. Keep up the good content. Big up, Ashley. Yeah, it's going to be good tomorrow. Good for so boring on the mic. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, Adam Pearce, that's it. Big up, guys. Adam Pearce is the Raw GM. I think at Survivor Series, the way they're building this, I think Adam Pearce is going to be the Raw. He's going to pick his Survivor Series team to go against Nick Adlis' SmackDown Survivor Series team. And whoever wins is the GM over both shows. Whoever wins is the GM over both shows. And that's the way for Nick Adlis then to become a wrestler again and not an authority figure. And I reckon that's why they're having this match with Gunther at SummerSlam. They're letting the world know how good Nick Adlis is by putting him in there, legitimately one of the best in the world at professional wrestling in Gunther. That's my opinion anyway. Let me know what you guys think about that. Yeah, Adam Pearce used to be a wrestler as well. But in an interview, Adam Pearce says he doesn't want to wrestle ever again. He never wants to take a bump again. I mean, I don't blame Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce is in as much, he's on TV probably more than a lot of the professional wrestlers right now. You know, how many segments does Adam Pearce have every week? You know, he's a big figure in the company. So, yeah. I'm going for Gunther to win this. I think Gunther has to win this. But I think it's going to be a match where Nick takes him to the limit. I think Nick's going to take him to the absolute limit and Gunther just about gets over the line. So Gunther's the actual winner, but Nick's the winner in like everyone's heart sort of thing. You know, that sort of emotional bollocks that WWE will put out. Oh, Nick didn't win, but he's won in life. You know, the fans can see how good he was. He pushed one of the greatest professional wrestlers in the world to the limit. That's how they book it. And then everyone be like, I want to see another Nick Aldis match. I want to see another Aldis match. I don't want to see him as GM anymore. So that's what I think they're doing. I think Gunther has to win this match. And I agree. He has to. But if you book it in a certain way, Nick Adlis is still a winner, even if he loses. Right, let's get to my match. Look, I think should be the main event. I think this should be the main event. I ain't gonna lie. I know it's CM Punk and Cody, yeah? For name value on a marquee, that has to be the main event because it's the WWE title. But does anyone think this should actually be the main event? I think this should be the main event tonight too. I actually think Roman and that should have been co-main event. This is my most anticipated match of the whole pay-per-view. These two guys, this is who Brock Lesnar picked. Brock Lesnar picked to work with Obafemi. If anyone saw Triple H on WWE radio yesterday, today, I think it was today, sorry, which I will talk about in a minute because everyone getting their knickers in a twist about his WWE radio stuff. It's just hilarious to me. He basically said on there, Triple H basically said that Brock's taking care of Obafemi all by himself. He's talking to him. He picked him to have these fight matches with. I think this is going to be just a match where they beat the shit out of each other. They're just going to beat the absolute crap out of each other. But I need to see blood in this match, though. It's a Hell in a Cell. None of this PG Hell in a Cell stuff, yeah? I've got two 300-pound men in a ring covered in metal in a cell with a roof that can use weapons and everything. I need to see blood in this match. I know what they're doing. This is why you have to watch it live as well, guys, because the only thing with Netflix, you know, especially for us here in the UK, we get all the pay-per-views, the PLEs on Netflix. Obviously, in America, you get them on ESPN. But if there's any blood or anything like that and you miss it live, Netflix will blur it out. Fuck knows why, but they do. I need to see blood. I need to see Brock get busted. And face it, you know, even if he's told not to bust open, who's going to tell Brock off anyway? You know, is Triple H getting in Brock's face at the end of the match? No. So I just want these two to absolutely kill each other in that ring. And Obafemi has to win. You know, Obafemi's going to be, he's the next superstar. He's the next one off the block. He's the next one WWE are pushing to be their next guy. He's 28 years of age. You know, they're trying to get this guy going right away. And he has to win this match. It should be a bloodfest. It should be absolute. They should be knackered. It should be violent. It should be everything. It should be everything. This should be as violent as it gets. And I'm going for Obafemi to win the match. So far, we have got the Bloodline beating Keys, Solo, LA Knight. We have got Fatal Influence beating the Bellas and Paige, and the Bellas turning on Paige after the match with a heel turn. We've got Io becoming the new women's champion because we believe, well, I believe anyway, that it would make more sense Liv not being champion and have that conflict with Raquel on Raw weekly because she's now got no title when Raquel's the Intercontinental champion. Gunther beating Nick Aldis in arguably a classic where Nick pushes him to the limit and wins no matter what, but Gunther actually gets his arm raised. Obafemi to beat Brock Lesnar in a Hell in a Cell. Now we come to the main event, man. The main event, look, it's the main event we've always wanted to see as a WWE fan. Cody and CM Punk. Their history, you know, it did start in WWE. It infested more in AEW. They both left that company through reasons that they both left in bad ways. Let's face it. Cody's never really spoke about it that much, but I don't think Cody left in that much of a good way. Punk, you know, we all know the way Punk left. This is going to be, you know, a generational matchup, but the story's not there. This is my issue with this match. Who's the heel in this match? Who's the good guy in this match? You need someone to cheer for. You know, wrestling always works better. Bad guy, good guy. Fans know who to pick. They pick their guy. You have heat, you know, and then you've got a story. There's no heel in this match. Who's going to be the heel? I would love Cody to be the heel in this match because I think Punk is on a generational run right now. I really believe it. I think Cody needs to be the heel in this match. I think Cody needs to be the one who plays dirty in this match, who gets booed in this match. I think the fans are going to be cheering CM Punk more than Cody. I think the fans are naturally going to boo Cody in this match in a way. So Cody's got to play up to it. Cody's got to be the heel. Cody's got to be horrible. He's got to be nasty. He's got to be violent. He's got to do dirty tricks. And CM Punk's got to be your babyface. And if they book it like that, we've got a story in the ring. We've got a heel versus a babyface. Although they're both babyfaces. But there's the story in the ring. We need that story. If they do that, if WWE book it like that, and then just let these two dance, we'll go have a 5-star match here. This is going to be quality. I'm going for I honestly believe CM Punk wins this matchup. I don't think Cody needs the title. I think Cody can not be champion for another year. I don't want to see Cody win the title maybe until WrestleMania. I don't think Cody needs to be the champion. I think CM Punk should carry on being champion till Mania, and they do this rematch again in Mania. That is probably what WWE are thinking as well. For that to happen, here's the way I would book this. I'd have CM Punk beat Cody. And then after the match, I'd have Cody beat down CM Punk because he didn't win the title. And get booed out of the building as he's leaving. And Punk's won the match. He's still the champion, but he's laid out on the floor. And the last image of Saturday night 1 at SummerSlam is Cody standing in the aisleway, just looking back at a dead CM Punk in the middle of the ring. And that's how I would book it. This is how I would book it. You know, it's just, I think fans want to see that Cody heel turn. And then Cody's the heel up till Mania. You know, you got CM Punk as your WWE champion, running with that title till WrestleMania, and Cody's now this heel, this dastardly heel that has to work his way back to fighting CM Punk at Mania. So, because they got to have a reason to wrestle again. I believe these two will wrestle at WrestleMania. Yeah, because I think the other match is going to be Roman Reigns versus Obafemi. I think I'm telling you right now, WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia is CM Punk rematching Cody Rhodes and Obafemi versus Roman Reigns. I think they're your two world title matches. So to get there, we need some story. So, yeah, that's what I'm going with. Cody needs to be healed because Cody gets whooped every week. Yeah. And Cody's the one who's being more healed anyway. I'm feeling Orton returns somewhere in this match. I mean, that gives Cody something to do. If you don't turn Cody heel and Orton comes back and costs Cody this match, then Cody's got something to do after this. Because I do believe, that promo CM Punk did last week or the week before, it might be a couple of weeks ago now. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. CM Punk came out on SmackDown a couple of weeks ago and said, look, as the WWE, WWE champion, I'm going to defend this title. And he named all wrestlers, didn't he? He named Trick Williams. He named Damian Priest. He named Finn Balor, Sami Zayn's. And that's what's going to happen in the night 2, which we'll get to in a minute. So, yeah, I'm going for CM Punk to win. And something's going to happen. Either Cody turns heel, Orton costs him, and then Cody's got something to do, while CM Punk has loads of different title defenses. Because I think that's what's going to happen. I think Obafemi wins the Rumble. I think Obafemi wins the Royal Rumble. Yeah, I think Oba wins the Rumble. Because Oba wanted Roman Reigns. Remember when he went going for King of the Ring and he was talking about who would wrestle? He mentioned Roman Reigns a lot. And when he mentioned Roman Reigns, that got the biggest cheer from the fans. It's like that's the match the fans want to see is Oba versus Roman. And on paper, that match is generational. Roman versus Oba would be, a sight. It'd be a great sight visually, presentation and all that. Them two in the ring together, that would just be, yeah, great. So, yeah, we need something to happen. Here's what I think might happen. I think after SummerSlam, CM Punk's he's going to have title matches with different opponents. So whoever wins the Finn Balor Sami Zayn match will be his next opponent at the next pay-per-view. After that, I think he's going to wrestle someone like a Damian Priest. After that, he's going to maybe wrestle a Trick Williams. I actually think when he did that promo and named all the wrestlers he wants to defend the title against, I actually think that's the plan. So if that's the plan for CM Punk to do for the next 4 or 5 months, then Cody Rhodes needs a story elsewhere. What's the story of Cody elsewhere? Maybe it is we're returning Randy Orton. Yeah. So yeah, I think yeah, I've heard people talk about this, Connor. I think Oba cashes in the King of the Ring match at Money in the Bank and beats Roman. They do Rock versus. I've seen a lot of people say this so far because WWE have not really said that he hasn't got a title match anymore. They said he's given up his title opportunity for SummerSlam. That's what they've said. They've not said he's still not got a title opportunity. And I think them words are what everyone's listening to. He's just not having the winner of King of the Ring was meant to have their title match at SummerSlam. He put that to the side to wrestle Lesnar in Hell in a Cell instead. He didn't actually give up his title shot. And I think that's how WWE are going to play it. I think they might give the Rumble to Bron Breakker when they win it this year. Yeah, I don't know about Bron. Do you know what? I'm going to say it now. I'm not Bron Breakker's biggest fan. I've never understood the hype. And that's just me, maybe. I think he's obviously got a tremendous spear. I don't know. I don't know if he's a champion. Yeah, they stressed Oba still gets his title match. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Connor. I think that it was when he was talking to Thingy, weren't it? Oh, what's his name? Keep forgetting the general, Adam Pearce. When he was talking to Adam Pearce, weren't it? Adam Pearce said, "Right, you still get your title match, but just not at SummerSlam." So, yeah. So me and Jay Oba and Trick are levels above Braun. Yeah. If I look at Trick Williams, I know Trick. I don't think Trick Williams has had a group like that outstanding match yet, but neither has Bron Breakker really. But I think Trick's got more about him. They fucked up with Braun. Should have won it at the beginning of the year versus Punk when he was hot. Yeah, you could argue that. But then they probably had their plans on where they wanted to go with the world title at that time. So, yeah, they probably did to fuck it up. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just not a big Braun fan, man. Yeah, I don't think the vision's helping Bron Breakker. I will say that. Although I think their segments lately have been pretty good, better than recently. I just don't think it's helping him. I think Bron Breakker looks a bit lost out there. It don't make sense. You know, Bron part of this helping Austin Theory and his love relationship. It's sort of he looks like the odd man out. He literally looks like the odd man out in the vision. Like Logan Paul and Austin Theory, and they look like they belong in that group. He just don't look like he belongs in that group. Plus, you got Thingy coming back as well, who's still part of the vision. Don't forget, he just got injured. What's his name? Oh, it's gone out my head. Oh, Ozilla. What's his name? What's Ozilla's name, by the way? It's gone out my head. He's still a member of the Vision, yeah? Bronson Reed. There you go. Thank you very much. Bronson Reed's still part of the Vision. You know, so what's Bronson Reed going to do when he comes back? Is he going to join the Vision again? And, you know, settle back in with Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker and Logan Paul and Austin Theory. That group looks shit. You know, I don't know. It's an interesting one. I'm looking forward to when Bron Breakker turns on Austin Theory. That's going to happen soon, surely. But that's night one. Let's get to night two. And night two shit. But let's do it anyway. Trick Williams. Let's go Trick Williams. Trick Williams versus Baron Corbin for the United States title. Trick Williams is one of my favorite guys at the moment. He's got the gift of the gab. His mic skills are excellent. His charisma is through the roof. His personality, his look, his music, his presentation, everything is on point. Absolutely fantastic with Trick. The thing that lets Trick down at this moment in time is just his match quality. It's just his match quality. But I'm going to say something right now. I think his match against... I think this is going to be Trick's best match he's had since he came to the main roster with Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin can go. As I said earlier, when Baron Corbin got taken back to NXT and he learned his craft a little bit again, and he started having great matches and that tag team with Bron Breakker, and he looked like a player again. He looked like the guy that everyone wanted. And then he got dropped. He got axed. And he went into the independents, and he was having good matches in the independents and now MLW and stuff like that. As he's coming out to his real name, and which is shit, by the way. I think he can have a match. I think Corbin and Trick. I think this is going to be Trick's best match in the main roster so far. I think him and Corbin are going to have a good match. I'm not saying it's going to be anything like outrageously special or anything. I think it's going to be a good match, but I think Trick will win. You know, Baron Corbin's been beating Trick up for the last 2 weeks. Trick, I don't think he's going to lose the title, so I think Trick beats Baron Corbin here. My daughter is screaming in the background. I do apologise. Yeah, I'm going with Trick to defend his United States title in a good match. Yeah, with Baron Corbin. You got to remember Melo as well. Melo's been cost this match as well. You know, Baron Corbin cost Melo United States title last time in his match with Trick in the triple threat. So I expect Melo to maybe have an influence in this match, or if not an influence in this match, have an influence on what happens after this match on SmackDown the following week or something like that, where we might get. I tell you what, I'd like a Melo Baron Corbin match. Give me that. Give me a Melo Baron Corbin match as well after SummerSlam. You know, Baron Corbin's lost. Melo comes out on SmackDown the week after SummerSlam, calls out Baron Corbin because he cost him his shot. Give me Baron Corbin versus Melo at a pay-per-view. That'd be a good match. I'm all for that. And then slowly build towards Trick versus Melo. Yeah, Big Cass back on the Monday Night Raw this next week. Melo could get added, but I doubt it. Yeah, I'd leave Melo after, man. Melo versus Trick needs to be built too. I agree. Now, one of my matches that I'm most looking forward to, which actually could be the match of the whole pay-per-view, the both nights. For me, this will be the match of night one, of night two. Big up Josh in the chat, man. I think this will be the best match of night two. I honestly do. Penta versus our guy, Gable. Yeah. Gable has to win this match, man. If anyone watched the Mask versus Mask match at AAA, oh my God, it was phenomenal. I think it was my favorite match of this whole year so far, no matter what promotion. I don't care what promotion you watch, what promotion's your favorite or anything like that, and biased aside. That Mask versus Mask match in AAA with the presentation, it went 45 minutes. It was blood, guts. Oh, man. It was fantastic. And then Gable turning babyface with his promo after the match. I had chills. It was some of the best professional wrestling you'll see, man. Absolutely some of the best professional wrestling you see. Chad Gable put on this beautiful babyface promo after the match. He had his daughter and his wife in the ring with him. He handed over the mask and told El Grande he's now the original El Grande. He's going to be the guy, go and make it work. You know, and he's over like you wouldn't believe. Oh, it was beautiful. It was the best match of 2026 in any promotion so far. It was fantastic. Roman versus Punk was excellent as well. Yeah, Connor, that was excellent as well. But the presentation, that AAA match, it gave me chills, man. Chad Gable has to win. This is the belt he's been wanting for years now. This Intercontinental title, he's never won a singles championship in WWE. You know, I remember watching Gable when he was a tag team with Thingy. What's his name? He's now an agent and producer for WWE because he broke his neck. I remember when there was a tag team. What was they called? The American something. I can't remember now. They were a tag team in NXT in Black and Gold days under Triple H's booking. And it was fantastic. Chad Gable's a legitimate badass, man. This could be the match. And Penta's just great. And it's Penta, ain't it, at the end of the day? Penta, yeah, and it's in Gable, Chad Gable's hometown. This is where he's from, Minnesota, born and raised. Do you know what I mean? He's a homecoming. It's just got, you know, American Alpha. That's it. Big up, Josh. American Alpha are a quality tag team. Loved American Alpha and Black and Gold NXT. By the way, I'm going to get Triple H's booking in a minute, because if you watch NXT Black and Gold when Triple H run that show with no interference, I think you actually see how good of a booker Triple H is. I don't think it's all Triple H's fault what's happening in WWE right now, which I'll get to in a minute after this preview. Penta's phenomenal. You know, him and Bandino might be the two best, you know, luchador wrestlers in the world right now. Bandino is excellent in AEW as well. He's out of this world. And Penta's just tremendous as well. Remember Penta's debut match in WWE was against Chad Gable on that Monday Night Raw, the second Raw after Netflix, on the Netflix debut, the week after. Great match. Went 20 minutes. Tremendous match. I think you got to see the same here as well. You got to see the same here. These are going to absolutely kill it. I think it's going to be the match of the night of night two. and that's saying something because you've got 2 other matches on this card which could actually, be phenomenal as well. So, yeah, I'm going for Chad Gable to win the title in a very emotional match with an emotional ending in his hometown. Hometown boy coming home to win his first singles title. Book it, Triple H. You know what to do. Let's get to the number 1 contenders match. Before that, let's get to some of you guys' comments here. Penta to win the Money in the Bank, you say, in October. That's a shout, I think WWE really like Penta. And I can see that happening. Gargano versus Ciampa is proof that Hunter knows how to book. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If everyone remembers he's in black and gold days in NXT, when he's got the pen. That's why everyone wanted Triple H to be. No, everyone wanted Triple H to be the booker of WWE because everyone knows how good he was in NXT. I just want to see Gargano wake up from the planking. Yeah, it's weird, ain't it? It's weird. WWE finally found their new Rey Mysterio. Penta. Oh, yeah. Penta will be champion one day as well, and there's no doubt about it. Right, this is an interesting match. Again, there's not a lot of story behind it, but I am very intrigued by this match. It is for the number 1 contendership to the WWE title. So whoever wins this match will get a shot at the WWE champion at the next pay-per-view. What's the next pay-per-view after SummerSlam, ladies and gentlemen? What's the next pay-per-view under? What is the next one? I can't remember. Let's have a look. Oh, God. It's Clash at the Castle, ain't it? Is it Clash at the Castle? No, it's not Clash at the Castle. Is it Clash at the Castle? Anyone? I don't fucking know. Let me have a look. All right. I don't think there is one. There isn't one at the moment. You got WWE Wells Collide in Chicago. That's an NXT show, I think. You got Heat Wave. That's an NXT show. That's at the end of August. You got Sunday night main event, should I say, in Atlanta, Georgia, on September the 6th. You got WWE Wells Collide in Chicago in the Allstate Arena, but it says Raw and SmackDown for that. And then you got Money in the Bank. Guys, is Wells Collide? I thought that was a AAA and NXT show. I'm not totally sure. Money in the Bank's in October. WWE have already put that out. Money in the Bank is in October. Have we got no pay-per-view in September then? Is there no pay-per-view in September? Now, let me just quickly look, I'll share this with you guys. Look. There's the card there. Money in the Bank. Where's my audio gone? Give me audio. My audio is there. Money in the Bank is not till October. But they got WWE Worlds Collide and they say Raw and SmackDown, not NXT. September the 26th in Allstate Arena, Chicago. They're not doing an NXT show in Allstate Arena. They're not doing a 12, 13,000 seater stadium for an NXT show. So Worlds Collide must be the next one. Yeah, it must be the next one. Interesting. No, just 2 shows with the Saturday night and the Worlds Collide. Yeah, there you go. So the winner of this match will probably wrestle for the WWE title on Either the world, it's going to be the Worlds Collide show, ain't it? It's in Chicago, for fuck's sake. You know, it's in the All-State Arena. If CM Punk is still champion after SummerSlam, he's wrestling the winner of this match at Worlds Collide in Chicago. Let's get that right, yeah? It ain't going to be at Sunday's main event. You know, it's going to be in Chicago at Worlds Collide. That's where it's going to be. That's where it's going to be. Worlds Collide. Saturday, September the 26th, Chicago All-State Arena. That's where it's going to be. That's where it's going to be. Right, let's get to this Finn versus Sami match, yeah? So Sami Zayn's work since he's lost the WWE title has been excellent. Sami Zayn's promos, the way he's gone absolutely nuts, the way he's just lost the complete plot, his character work and everything since he lost the WWE title have been 10 out of 10. Finn Balor, since he got moved to SmackDown, has not lost a match. Big up Z Talks, my man, my brother. How you doing, man? Oh, damn, you watch wrestling. I've said W, but the product has been poor. Like, that's it. I watch everything, man. I love professional wrestling. I love saying that Finn needs to win. It progresses Sami's story and Finn gets his opportunity. I agree. So, yeah, Finn Balor, since he moved to SmackDown, has not lost a match. He's now number one contender. We've got this Worlds Collide events coming out in September in Chicago. We've already predicted that CM Punk will beat Cody Rhodes and defend his WWE title at SummerSlam Night 1 main event. I believe he's then going to wrestle Finn Balor at Worlds Collide in Chicago in the All-State Arena on September the 26th because Finn Balor's going to beat Sami Zayn to be number one contender. That's what I think. Finn Balor, they look like they put money behind him. And as he talks in the chat just said, it makes sense for Sami to lose because of the storyline that he's going through. It feels like he's been disrespected. It feels like everyone looks down on him. You know, he got this opportunity after all these years. He won the WWE title and lost it in 9 days to a guy that he shouldn't have even been wrestling that night. So if you look at it like that, story-wise, this makes a lot of sense. Do you need me opening? All right. Live on air, guys. Live on air. Oh, shit. Right, there you go. There's one. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I should have done it live. Shit on the stick. Ah, there's two. There you go. Proof. Oh. Right. I had to open jars. That hurt my hand. Yeah, so that's how I see it going. I think for the character work and the story, it actually makes Sami losing. And then he goes against the Machine again. Oh, Finn's Triple H's boy. That's what he can do. We know Triple H loves Finn Balor. You know, Finn, you know, he's going, you know, we know he loves him and all that. He's come over to SmackDown. He wasn't even meant to be on SmackDown. He's been over here and all of a sudden he gets a title shot. You know, it's not fair again. I'm getting costs. So I think that's why Finn Balor wins, man. I think you do Finn Balor versus CM Punk in the All-State Arena at Worlds Collide September 26th. And Finn gets the victory here. A Punk Sami feud could feed generations, though. It could. I just don't think. I don't think WWE look at Sami as that guy. I like Sami, though. I'd love Sami to win this match, but yeah. Yeah, the Gargano stuff. A lot of people are on about this Gargano stuff because, you know, he seems to be Sami's guy. But I don't know. I don't know what to do with Gargano. They show Gargano. I don't know about you guys, but have you noticed that they show Gargano a lot more now? Although he's doing nothing, he's just laying there on a planking on a bit of on the staging equipment boxes. He's been shown a lot on SmackDown every week. Fair play to Gargano, no. He's not doing anything. He's not wrestling, but he's on TV literally every single week. So he's getting paid. So either they got to pay this off in some way, you know, or he just does this till he leaves and he's out of contract. I don't know. I don't know. Right, here comes the worst match of the pay-per-view. And Gargano AEW makes sense. Although I do feel like Gargano will get a bit lost in AEW, if I'm fair. I think Ciampa suits AEW a little bit more because Ciampa's got that more of that hardcore wrestling about him, you know, where he can get violent, like we saw with the Jericho match at Redemption, which was just stupid. I don't see Gargano doing that sort of thing. I actually think Gargano would get lost a little bit in AEW. Gargano and just to form a faction with Sammy. That would be great. Look, also, has anyone watches Gargano and Candice LeRae's YouTube channel? If anyone watches that, you would know from there that Candice LeRae only ever wants to work in WWE. You know, this is where she wants to work. So it's interesting what they're going to do there. Big up my man Andre. There's no way they let CM Funk, the second most boring wrestler after Cody Rhodes, lose the Finn. Andre, I'm going to take it you don't like CM Punk. Big up, my man. It will probably join the Candice family. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Candice is underutilized. Yeah, I like Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae's a good wrestler. Right, here comes the most. Yeah, Candice the producer. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. She loves WWE. This is where she wants to be. Her and Johnny always talk about that. Johnny Gargano and that, you see it on their YouTube channel. They're WWE guys. It's where they've always wanted to be. So yeah. Fair enough, Andre. Fair enough, man. I don't mind it. Here comes the match no one wants to see. Danhausen versus Rey Mysterio. I feel for Rey Mysterio, man. I'm a big fan of Rey Mysterio. I like Dirty Dom. I ain't gonna lie. I think Rey Mysterio has gone right downhill in the last 12 months. I think he just needs to get away from all this Judgment Day shit now. He needs to finish his feud with Danhausen. It's real monies, human monies on a pole match, guys. Now, if anyone's here old enough, do they remember in WCW when they did a Viagra on a pole match? Do you remember that? Anything on the pole is shit. I mean, I remember when WWE did a flags on a pole match. Do you remember that with Bret Hart versus the Patriot? Jesus. Oh, when they put the Canadian and American flag, and the first one to go and get their flag from the bowl is the winner. Patriot versus Bret Hart. Oh my God, that sucks. Anything on a pole is shit. Anything on a pole is crap. Unless it's a woman on a pole, no one cares. Exactly, Connor. Yeah, not everything on a pole. Yeah, exactly. Wrestling-wise, anything on a pole is terrible. Do you remember Buff Bagwell's mum on a pole? Does anyone remember that in WCW when Vince Russo was booking it? I think they put Buff Bagwell's mum on a pole match. Does anyone remember that? Tell me people remember that. Buff Bagwell's mum, was it Julie Bagwell? Julie Bagwell, wasn't it? Oh, they had Viagra on a pole match. Oh, do you remember a nightstick on a pole match between Nails and Big Boss Man? Do anyone remember that? By the way, if you've not seen Big Boss Man's Dark Side of the Ring episode yet, please watch it. Yeah, nightstick on a pole. It's just shit. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, Jesus. Did Cena rise a flag? Yeah, Cena did a flag against Rusev, weren't it? Cena and Rusev did a flag on a pole match as well. Look, Danhausen's winning this match because he needs. No. Right, Dominic's winning this match because he needs to get his money back. We need to put an end to this fucking feud. So Dominic Mysterio needs to win to get his money back, and we can move on. So I need after this Dominic Mysterio starting feud. Like Dominic Mysterio in AAA's big pay-per-view coming up very soon. He's probably going to defend the Mega Championship against El Grande Americano on the Night 2 show. That's going to be the next thing for Dominic Mysterio. That's going to be a killer match. The heat in that match is going to be fantastic. If anyone watches AAA, they know they're building to that. Dominic Mysterio's now got thingy by his side. Omos is now by Dominic Mysterio's side in AAA, feuding now against El Grande Americano, who wants the Mega Championship. That's going to be the big main event in that night 2 of their main pay-per-view in AAA this year. And El Grande Americano is going to win that Mega Championship. And that means Don can get away from it all now and then concentrate on being Dominic Mysterio again. Danhausen should not be wrestling on SummerSlam. I'm sorry. I agree. There's too much Danhausen at the moment. That Danhausen, Joe Hendry segment on Monday Night Raw was one of the worst segments I've ever seen in wrestling. It was fucking horrible. The song was shit. The dancing was shit. Everything was shit. And then Ryan Garcia, sorry. What are we doing? What is this cack? No, I actually turned Raw off. I like Monday Night Raw. I think Monday Night Raw at its best is the best wrestling show weekly on TV. But fuck me, last night's Raw. Monday night's Raw is one of the worst Monday Night Raws I've ever seen in my life. It was fucking awful. That segment was shit. Absolute dog shit. And there's too much Danhausen. He needs to be every so often. It's too much now. After SummerSlam, we need to calm the Danhausen thing down a little bit. He needs to just go away for a few weeks, come and just, take a holiday or something. I understand why WWE are doing it. Danhausen is a money-making machine. Connor will probably know this because Connor went to see, I think Connor went and saw Raw at the O2. I went the next night and saw SmackDown at the O2. When I was at the O2 in London, when SmackDown was there, everyone had Danhausen shirts on. They sold out of Danhausen merchandise when I was there. It was like there was Cody merchandise, but the most was Danhausen. He must be making so much money right now. So I can understand why WWE are doing what they're doing, but it's too much. It needs to stop. But I can get it. Look, if I owned a business and I saw a guy just making money, just rolling in cash, just making money, I'm going to milk it as much as I can. So I do get it from that point of view. Yeah, Danhausen's just a money making machine right now. So, but I think after SummerSlam they just need to dial it down a little bit. It's getting a bit too over the top. I've seen people say they're good for Triple H because that segment, they're done with Triple H, were good because that segment. It was a bad segment. I can't blame them either. Dan Henson is good in small doses, but they're overdoing it now. Exactly. Yeah, Roman and Dan Henson merch sold like crazy. Exactly, Connor. It was crazy, man. Fantastic. Like, good for Danhausen, man, though. Got nothing wrong with the guy. I think he's a great guy. And his character work is excellent and he knows his character. But it's just been overdone a little bit. Right, here we go. The 5 women ladder match for the interim women's championship. Now, let me get on to about this interim women's championship stuff. So, a lot of people are like, why has Rhea Ripley just not surrendered her title? I think it's because she's not going to be out for that long. I don't mind interim championships. Now, if anyone knows, WWE is owned by TKO. All right? TKO own UFC. If anyone like me, as you know, I watch UFC. I do it with Cal and Luke. We do our shows. We'll be on tonight live as 10:30 as well, so make sure you're watching. In UFC, when a fighter gets injured, he's a champion, they don't always strip him unless they're out for too long. They do interim title fights. And then the person who wins the interim title usually would then fight the champion when he comes back. And then you'd have an undisputed title fight. Right? I don't mind it. If Rhea Ripley's only going to be out for another month after this and she's not back till Money in the Bank, if Rhea Ripley's back for Money in the Bank in October and the winner of this is the interim world champion and they can defend that title on SmackDown and, and carry that title through SmackDown to October time till Rhea's better. And then we have a one-on-one match between the interim champion and Rhea Ripley to make one undisputed champion. I'm all right with it. I'm all right with it. So the list at the moment is obviously Charlotte, Jade, Chelsea, and Tiffany. We got one space left, and I think that's going to go to Julia. I think Julia is wrestling. Who's Julia wrestling on SmackDown in a one-on-one match? Oh, I can't remember who she's wrestling. I think Julia wins this. I think Julia will be. I swear it was Julia versus someone. Julia versus Lash Legend. Yeah, big up, Connor. So WWE advertised that Julia versus Lash Legend would be the final match on SmackDown this week. Lash Legend is not winning this a billion ladder match. There's no fucking point, right? I think Julia goes into this, and I think Julia wins it. Yeah, they announced it on social media, Liam. It was on social media. Now, because it was on social media, they could go against it and just put a person in there. I know a lot of people on about AJ Lee. What I've read recently is that AJ Lee doesn't want to come back. So I'm not sure. I've heard they're going to try and push Julia now. Tiffany ain't going to win it because she's US champion. Tiffany shouldn't be in it because she's US champion. Tiffany should be defending her belt at SummerSlam against Blake Monroe because that was apparently the destination for Tiffany. I think Blake Monroe's going to interfere in this match and cost Tiffany the title. I think Tiffany's going to be climbing the ladder to get the title, and Blake Monroe's going to cost her it, and we're going to have Blake Monroe versus Tiffany for the US title down the road. I think Jade and Charlotte are going to cancel each other out because I think the Jade and Charlotte feud is going to carry on after this, and I don't think you need the title on Jade or Charlotte right now. The other one is Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green would be a fantastic interim champion till Rhea Ripley comes back because she's not really the champion. It's such a Charlotte Green thing. You know, Charlotte Green being interim champion and not actual champion would actually make sense because if you think about Charlotte Green's character and personality and all, you know, that's her down to a fault. She will say, I'm the champion, I'm the champion. She'd be really audacious with it. She'd be cringe with it. You'd love her with it, yeah? She'd go, I'm the women's WWE champion. And people were like, no, you're just interim champion. Rhea Ripley still champion. Who's like, no, I've got the belt. I'm WWE. Can you imagine her with it? Chelsea would be excellent with it. So I'd love Chelsea to win it. If Julia does win her match against Lash Legend, a little bit of me would like to see Julia win it. I think the odds-on favourite is Charlotte Flair. Having Jade and Charlotte in this match together, I don't know. It just tells me that Charlotte's not winning it. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously Jade's going to have her girls come out, you know, B-Fab and all that crew and all that come out and interfere. I can see Blake Monroe coming out and interfering on Tiffany's behalf, leaving maybe Chelsea. I'm going Chelsea. Fuck it. Chelsea Green for the win, guys. To shock the world. Chelsea Green to win the interim WWE Women's title. Because it makes sense. If you go on character, her being interim champion and pretending she's the real champion, it makes sense story-wise. You know, Charlotte winning it right now, no, not yet. I think we need that big match with Charlotte. I think she's still got unfinished business with Jade. And I don't want to see a Charlotte versus Jade women's title match for the interim title. I don't want to see it. But then part of me does want to see Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the world title and maybe Money in the Bank. So, I don't know. And then Rhea Ripley comes back and beats Chelsea Green in about 2 minutes. Do you know what I mean? That would be the thing. If you think, I know it sounds stupid, but if you go on Chelsea Green's, you know, the way she is as a personality and a wrestler, her winning the interim title and making that it's the real belt and making that she's this person and not needing to defend it because she's interim champion. And then Rhea comes back, they have their match, and Rhea beats her in about 2 minutes. because it's Chelsea Green. Yeah, it may, and then they can say Chelsea Green's been champion, because go back to what Michael Hayes said on season 2 of Unreal. He said Chelsea Green is not a women's wrestler that you make champion. She's a sort of wrestler that you put in a ring with champions to improve them and give them a bit of, hype them up and advance them. She's advanced talent. So it'd make it, if you go back to that story, it would be funny to put her as the interim champion, because really she's not really champion, she's interim champion. But she will go down and say, Charlotte Flair, Chelsea Green will then carry on saying for weeks on until Rhea Ripley comes back that she is the woman's real champion. Makes sense. Makes sense booking wise. I think it's less about, sorry, I agree with you there. Chelsea would work, and more about it for the following title fight. And that wouldn't be the big of the deal if it's Chelsea, in my opinion. Exactly. Like, just put a... Look, and this is the thing, and I agree, they would go with Charlotte because it's easy. And that's me. Do you know what irritates me with them going with Charlotte? I don't mind Charlotte being champion. Charlotte hasn't been champion since she came back, I don't think. Right? This is the longest she's gone without winning singles championships. And she's having the time. You can tell Charlotte's enjoying wrestling again, enjoying her time, especially with her tag team with Alexa Bliss. You can tell she's enjoying herself again. It's just so easy creatively to just put the title on Charlotte. WWE need to get away from that and have a bit of fun with it now. WWE need to think out the box and be a bit more creative and think a little bit differently. Because I'll tell you what, Chelsea Green winning the interim title, that crowd will go mad. She will get the pop of the night if she wins that title. The crowd will lose their shit. So I think that's the way to do. I think that's the way to do it, man. If I was them, I'd save Rhea or Charlotte for Mania. Yeah, that's their match. That's the money match right now in WWE, and that's that side of things. On the SmackDown side of things, Charlotte and Rhea's the match. Charlotte's actually been good to watch since she's been back. She was so annoying before. Exactly. I think that tag team with Alexa helped. I think she's more down to earth now. I don't know of any, that little girl that she got very close to, that she designed her gear over. And that little girl passed away, didn't she? And that was really sad. And then Charlotte did that video response to the death of that little girl, and it's really, really sad. And you could see Charlotte's real emotions, and she's a good woman, And she really liked that little girl. Apparently, she went around her house a lot. Just going around this little girl's house and meeting her because they were friends. And she designed her WrestleMania outfit, I believe, after her. You know what I mean? That was it was a beautiful thing, man. That outfit Charlotte was wearing, and was it at Mania or something like that? And it was really colourful, and it was like a jacket, not a robe, and it was a jacket and that. Yeah, she designed that over what the little girl made her. Yeah, Charlotte's lean. Yeah, it was emotional, man. It was lovely. Charlotte versus Rhea at Mania was the greatest women's wrestling match ever. Mania 38. Yeah, Charlotte's quality. Look, I think Charlotte Flair is the best big time women's wrestler ever, in my opinion. And I mean, I think Charlotte can be quite lazy, and if she doesn't fancy wrestling someone in a match, she just won't do it, and you can tell. But for a big match, for a massive match, Charlotte, I think, is the best at that one-off match, if that makes sense. I think Ronda Rousey's best ever match was with Charlotte Flair at Survivor Series, one-on-one. When it was meant to be Becky versus Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series, but Becky got her nose broke by Nia Jax, and then she chose Charlotte to wrestle for her. I still believe that was Ronda Rousey's best one-on-one match she ever had in her career, was against Charlotte Flair. So, yeah, big-time Bex, So, yeah, for that, just a one-off match, that big stakes match, especially in maybe in just WWE, because Mercedes in AEW and what she's doing, she's probably the best women's wrestler in the world right now, full stop. But I mean, just WWE. I think Charlotte's your best big match. Yeah, Charlotte versus Nia had great matches. Had no reason to be good. But Charlotte and Nia had good matches, yeah. I think Charlotte's just that guy, that girl for that reason, you know. Becky's the one. Yeah, Becky's great. We need to see Becky back. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth going for the title that he never lost. You know, obviously had to give it up because of injury, but he's never lost that title. Roman Reigns looking to defend it and beat Seth Rollins in a look. Roman Reigns has beaten Seth Rollins once before. I think it was on a Monday Night Raw or a SmackDown, something like that. But WWE have sort of ignored that. And to be fair, I forgot about that match. Because as far as I was aware, Roman's never beaten Seth Rollins, but he has beaten once. But it's a match no one remembers. So I don't care. In my opinion, in a big match scenario, in a pay-per-view, in a big match, Roman Reigns has never beaten Seth Rollins. Their Rumble match, if I'm correct, their Royal Rumble 2022 Royal Rumble match, Seth won on disqualification, didn't he? So when he came out in the Shield gear, which I think he's going to do for this SummerSlam match. Yeah, one's in the sky, man. Roman's winning. I mean, what are we doing here? Roman's not having short title. I'd be shocked if Roman has a short title reign. I'd be absolutely shocked if Roman loses his title before WrestleMania. I think Triple H and WWE look at Roman versus thingy for the title over Femi as their title match. And they're not going to do what AEW did, and they're going to make sure their biggest guys are fighting in the main event in their biggest show. You know, unlike what AEW did, and they fucked up the fucking Ospreay match because they put Kenny in there, which I'll get to in a minute. But guys, there's my predictions, So we're going Trick to defend. We're going Chad Gable to win the Intercontinental title. I'm going Finn Balor to win against Sami Zayn, be number one contender, because it helps the story of Sami going forward. Dominic Mysterio to win all his money back. I'm going Chelsea Green to win the interim title in the ladder match, and Roman Reigns to defend his title, guys. That's your SummerSlam predictions. Let me just bring back me. There we go. Let's bring back that. Right, now we've done all the 90 minutes gone really mad. Has it been an hour and a half? Like me. Let me talk about my things about wrestling quickly and my gripes about wrestling. So I've done the predictions. I just want to do this now about being a wrestling fan. So obviously I've been a wrestling fan since I was a child. I'm 44 years of age now, and I still love professional wrestling. It's one of them things that I'll always love, even if I don't watch it as much maybe as I used to. So I still do. I'm always going to love professional wrestling. And, you know, I grew up on it. I loved it. I still love it today. Professional wrestling, though, to me has changed a lot. And I don't think it's the same anymore. I used to I look at professional wrestling like this. I don't look at professional wrestling as a sport, right? And it depends how you look at professional wrestling. I look at professional wrestling as escapism, as entertainment, as a male soap opera, if that makes sense, right? That's how I look at professional wrestling, you know, and that's just not WWE. That's when I used to watch WCW, when I watch AEW now, when I watch MLW, when I watch House of Glory, wherever it is. I don't look at it still as a sport. It can't be a sport. It's predetermined. There's a person who's a booker who gets all the boys and tells them who's winning and losing, and then they go and practice their match in the afternoon and then have their match in the evening. It's a predetermined thing. It can't be a sport, right? So I don't treat it as one. I treat it as pure entertainment, as escapism. So I've always treated wrestling. But I want wrestling to be real to me. If we look, I know wrestling's not real, but I want it to be real to me. So I like the psychology of wrestling. I love psychology in wrestling. Psychology in wrestling has gone. There's no such thing as psychology now. Everyone wants cheap pops. Everyone kicks out on one or two. Finishing maneuvers are no longer protected. Everyone kicks out of a finishing maneuver now. I've seen wrestlers in AEW as well do a Spanish fly off the top of a 15-foot cage and kick out on two. Do you know how much that takes me out of the match? I sit there and go, right, I'm done. No point in me watching this now. If a Spanish fly off a 15-foot steel cage has not beat a person, then what are we doing here? How do I believe this now? How do I believe this now? Where's the believability? Where's all that gone in wrestling? You know, I used to watch a DDT beat people and they were dead. Jake Roberts snapping on a DDT, yeah? Planting them. People never kicked out of DDTs. They were dead, man. They were gone. Where's the psychology in wrestling gone? Where's the selling gone? I hate it. Look, WWE do it a lot. Fucking AEW do it the worst. And that's why sometimes I check out of a lot of AEW stuff. I was watching a match the other day. It was the redemption match, yeah? It was Ospreay and John Moxley as a tag team versus the Young Bucks, yeah? The Young Bucks are super kicking the shit out of them. By the way, a move that's been so overused now. Super kicking the shit out of them, doing moonsaults and frog splashes. And then John Moxley just stands up like nothing happened. And I'm like, what? What? What is this psychology bullshit? Like, we're in a world of wrestling now where people just want to see 5 Canadian destroyers, power bombs off the top turnbuckle, jumping tombstones, throwing people, gorilla pressing people off the ring to the floor, and they all kick out. They all kick out on two. No one sells anything. No one limps. No one holds their arm. No one cradles their neck. As Ospreay sold his neck since he came back from surgery. As Ospreay actually sold his neck since he came back from surgery. You would not know he had neck surgery on a life and death situation. No one targets it. Why does no one target his neck? Why does no one target his neck? It's just so... that psychology in wrestling has gone because people don't want to see that no more. We're in a new generation. No one likes that slower tempo of pro wrestling, you know, where they build a story. So it's a little bit slower at the beginning because you're telling the story. In the middle of the match, in the second act, it picks up a little bit. And in the third act, everything happens. And it's like a 40-minute match, but it's really slow at the beginning. You're sitting there going, all right, okay. All right, I see what you're doing. The middle gets a little bit more exciting, and then everything fucking happens at the end. That's how wrestling matches should be. But what we do now is everything happens here, everything happens here, and everything happens here. There's 3 acts to a match. You got the first act, the second act, the third act. Everything happens in the first act. Everything happens in the second act. Everything happens in the third act, and no one sells a fucking thing. It drives me mad about professional wrestling right now. And it happens in WWE and it happens more in AEW. And that's why, so I think that's why AEW is not growing to where it should be, because I think it takes people out of it. I think people see it sometimes. You go, you know what? It's an alternative. That's what AEW is. It's not competition. It's an alternative. If you're sick and tired of WWE, which I can understand you being sick and tired of them right now because the product stinks, right? You go and switch your telly over to AEW. You think, I need to see something different. I need to see something different. And you're watching Chris Jericho pull out a drill and drill Ciampa in the head. And you're sitting there going, what the fuck is this garbage? What is this garbage? And then the main event of Redemption. This is what drives me crazy about AEW sometimes, yeah. Whoever books their shit needs sacking, right? I know it's Tony Khan, but everyone thinks Tony Khan's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It doesn't mean nothing. The main event, right? I was talking to my mate Grant about this, yeah, how we would book this main event, right? How we'd book Ospreay going to All In, right? So AEW know they fucked up, right? Because they should have had MJF, the big heel, the nasty bastard, the person everyone hates, against the good boy, the baby-faced assassin, Ospreay, at All In at Wembley Stadium. Should have been the match. You got the horrible, nasty heel, the ultimate babyface in his home country, in Wembley, at London, at All In. It's magic. It makes sense. And AEW know they fucked up, right? They gave the title to Kenny Omega because Tony Khan is obsessed of having Kenny Omega versus Ospreay Part 3. He's obsessed with it, so he wanted it to happen. Apparently, it was always the rumor match that was going to happen ever since he knew Ospreay was coming back to be in that main event and winning the Owen. Right? So what did they do at Redemption? Ospreay, Moxley in the ring together. Moxley gives Ospreay the plastic bag to suffocate Kenny Omega to death with. Stupid, I know, because Kenny Omega's not actually dying, is he? So what's the fucking point of it? Ospreay says no, punches Moxley, and Moxley falls out of the ring, right? So he's like stood up to Moxley. After all that storytelling, after all the storytelling they've been doing, as Ospreay is part of the Death Riders now, he's one of them, he's part of the group. All that storytelling we're doing, they just finish it there, right? So Ospreay looks like the good guy, yeah, going against Kenny Omega, the good guy. What does Omega do? Ospreay's on the turnbuckle doing his thing. They do what they did in New Japan Pro Wrestling when Omega turned heel on AJ Styles and put him through the mat. That's what they did here. Up there celebrating, Omega comes down, gets him off the turnbuckle, one wind angel, turns heel on Omega. Young Bucks there, turning heel. So the reason they've done that is because they've realised Kenny Omega as a babyface against Ospreay as a babyface does not work. They should have never took the title of MJF. So now we had this convoluted bullshit of Ospreay turning on the Death Riders and John Moxley for only Kenny Omega to then turn heel on Ospreay at the same time. Who writes that shit? Who writes that shit? It should have been MJF, who is their biggest star. He's their biggest star by a country mile. Has anyone not noticed that Dynamite's ratings are starting to go down again because MJF ain't on the shows? MJF is their biggest star. But no, they're obsessed with it. Obsessed with it. And that's the psychology of wrestling gone. This is how we're doing things. And Triple H is the same. Like, WWE's booking is fucking all over the shop. It's terrible. It's fucking awful. But what confuses me about Triple H is this. When I watched him in NXT Black and Gold, NXT Black and Gold was better in the main roster by a country mile. Vince was, big up Scraps, Vince was so gone. Vince was so behind the times. He didn't know what was good television anymore. He didn't know how to book wrestling anymore. He was done. Everyone was watching NXT Black and Gold. The pay-per-views for NXT outshone every main roster pay-per-view, even WrestleManias. Completely outshone them. And the booking Triple H was doing down there because he was left on his own. Vince won't care. Vince didn't give a shit what NXT were doing. Vince couldn't care less what Triple H was doing in NXT. So as long as Triple H stayed within the rules of the company, you know, no bleeding and stuff like that, you can pretty much book what you want. And he was booking what he wanted. He booked his own way without any interference. Obviously, he had Regals with him, and he had Thingy, what's his name? A-Train. I can't remember his real name now. He's got A-Train and obviously Regal with him as part of the creative department back in Black and Gold NXT, yeah? They worked together. But he had no one to talk to. He had no one above him. He could do what he wanted. He was the king down there. And he was booking NXT Black and Gold like the best it was. The best it was. Yeah, this is my second channel, Scraps. So I've still got my first channel, my Liverpool channel. This is my second channel. Big up, man. And when Triple H got promoted, so Vince McMahon retired, yeah? And Triple H got promoted as the head booker of the main roster. And in the first 2 years, his booking was fantastic. And I think it's because TKO stayed away. TKO let Triple H run it for 2 years, yeah? They stayed away because remember, this is quickly after the TKO bought out. So TKO bought out WWE. Vince, shortly after that, about 3 or 4 months after that, had to leave because of the allegations that have come out. So he had to step down and sell his stake as chairman. They then employed Triple H to come over and run the main roster. And I think Triple H's first show was SummerSlam 22. I think that was his first show, was SummerSlam 22. And at SummerSlam 22, he brought back Io Sky. He brought back Charlie, which is her name now. I can't remember actually WWE name. Then he brought back Brock, and then he had that Brock match as well at the end. You know, he brought people back. You know, Vince let go previously, and he booked really well. And since they've been on fucking Netflix, I think that's when it's changed. Now, Dakota Kai, that's it. Since they went on Netflix, everything's changed. Mania 38, I reckon Mania 39 to Mania 40 was the hottest WWE have been since the Attitude Era. The booking was excellent from Mania 39 to Mania 40, and all them pay-per-views in between were fucking excellent. Money in the Bank at the O2 was out of this world. Clash in the Castle at Scotland, out of this world. The Paris Backlash, out of this world. The Backlash in Puerto Rico, out of this world. The quality pay-per-views they were putting on at the time. The quality pay-per-views they were putting on at the time were fantastic. Mania 40 was an excellent Mania from top to bottom, especially night 2 of Mania. It was fantastic. Right? Mania 39 might be the best Mania ever, in my opinion, because I think every match was superb at their Manias on both nights. I think it's the most complete 2-night show WWE have ever done, was Mania 39. I actually think the Cody Roman Reigns match at Mania 39 was better than the 40 match. It's just that we had a better ending in the 40 because Cody finished the story. It was... But what's happened to Triple H since? I don't think Triple H has just woke up a bad booker. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think he's woke up a bad booker at all. Yeah, Clash at 22 as well. Yeah, Clash was awesome. This is what I'm saying. It's like, I think he has to answer to too many people. He has to answer to Netflix. He has to answer to ESPN. He has to answer to NBC, who own US Network, I believe. You know, he has to answer to all these people. Do you think Triple H could put on like AEW do these bloody death matches, yeah? Which, you know, they are fantastic. Well, I'll give AEW credit for. They put on some tremendous pro wrestling, yeah? And I do like watching AEW. I'm going to All In at the end of August. Do you know what I mean? I do like AEW. I just got my bugbears with them that really pissed me off. But people are not honest. You know, big up JD from New York, yeah? JD from New York is arguably, for me, the best wrestling podcaster there is on YouTube. You know, and he keeps it blatantly honest, yeah? He tells you when WWE shit, tells you in AEW shit. But there's still good points and bad points to everything. I think the good points of AEW is they put on quality matches. And Tony Khan's got no one to answer to, right? Tony Khan's got no one to answer to. Tony Khan wants to do a death match where people will put syringes through their mouths, have real cement blocks, you know, and get a drill out and point at the head and try and drill someone through the head, yeah? No one's going to say anything. Could you imagine Triple H booking a match, right, at SummerSlam where Brock Lesnar, and he doesn't tell Netflix or ESPN, yeah? He doesn't tell him, yeah? And he goes and books a match where Brock Lesnar gets a drill, a Black & Decker drill out from the ring. It's real, it's moving, and he starts drilling a hole in Obafemi's head. And he doesn't tell ESPN and Netflix about it. Do you think ESPN and Netflix are not going to be pissed? They're going to be like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Do you know what I mean? So he has a lot to answer to. He has so much to answer to more than thinking. But that's not him getting away with it. His booking has been bad. His booking needs to improve. You know, he knows he can do better in this. He knows he can do better in this. And, you know, you could almost, after that Monday Night Raw, you could almost go, it's a sackable offense. That Monday Night Raw as a booker was a sackable offense. Triple H has got to get better. He does. He just has to be better at his game than what he's doing right now. And it's the same with Tony Khan. You know, I'm not one of these wrestling fans who WWE great, AEW bad, AEW great, WWE bad. I like professional wrestling. These are the two biggest promotions in the world. So they're going to get more highlighted than any other promotion. You know, MLW is a good promotion. Canadian Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling is a good promotion. You know, Dragon's Gate, Noah, New Japan Pro Wrestling, you know, Prev Row, you know, all these great companies, yeah. You know, House of Glory, another great company. They're all great companies, yeah. They have good wrestling. You can see good wrestling on all these shows, right? But these are the two biggest companies in the world right now, WWE and AEW. They're going to get all the attention. So you have a lot of tribalism, yeah. TNA at this moment, to be fair to TNA, yeah. I don't know what it is about TNA, but everyone wants to leave TNA. You know, I don't know what it is. Every wrestler, like, I've had enough, I'm leaving TNA. TNA in the last month have probably had their best run since they signed their deal with AMC. You know, we all know they signed a big deal with AMC. They got a good contract there, partly with their partnership with WWE and Nick Khan, probably helping them get that AMC deal. And I think for the last 3 or 4 weeks, they've had their best run they've had in a long time. Now they've asked LeBron James to come to Philadelphia with the Hardys. You know, it's crazy. LeBron James could be in TNA. Absolutely mad. Good luck to TNA, man. Good luck to him. But these are the two big ones. And you got tribalism. Of course there's tribalism, right? And I think the biggest leader of the tribalism are two people. I think it's Ibu on Twitter and Dave Meltzer, without a shadow of a doubt. I think they're the two. They build tribalism like you wouldn't believe, especially Dave Meltzer. Like, Dave Meltzer can't say anything bad about AEW ever. Can't ever. Hates them. Ibu Kanata, yeah, scraps. Dave Meltzer can't say anything bad about AEW, which it's a shame because, right, this and the other thing. So, yeah, I like the name Cruz Montana. Cruz Montana went NXT. Yeah. So Mike Santana's got his new name, Cruz Montana. Now, if anyone knows why he's named himself Cruz Montana, it's because of his father. So Mike Santana, he doesn't have to lose his name to WWE, but he called himself Cruz Montana because of his father. Yeah. Yeah, NXT's great, but NXT's part of WWE, and that's why I throw them together. Meltzer will give 5 stars to Ospreay for having a shit. Obviously, AEW have had more 5-star matches in the 7 years they've been a company than the 60 years that WWE have been a company. Do you know some of the matches that have not been given 5 stars from Dave Meltzer? Do you know I don't think Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle at Mania 21 got 5 stars. Shawn Michaels and Mankind In Your House never got 5 stars. The TLC match at WrestleMania never got 5 stars. Do you know that Rock and Austin at Mania 17 never got 5 stars? But it'd give 5 stars to a random Dynamite match. It's tribalism at its best. Tribalism at its best, and people believe in it and soak it in, man. And it's crazy. It's like this WWE radio thing. So WWE bought Sirius XM. What's it called? What was the radio show called with Dave LaGretta? What's it called? Busted Open Radio. So WWE bought Busted Open Radio that plays on Sirius XM in America, right? We get YouTube clips here. You can watch it on YouTube. So obviously Dave LaGretta is he's a WWE fanboy. He admits it himself. He talks about all wrestling. He talks about AEW and all that. But he says it himself. He's a WWE fanboy. That's what he is, right? There's nothing wrong with it. So WWE bought them and then turned it into WWE Radio. And it's about WWE protecting the narrative, right? I've got nothing wrong with it. WWE want to protect their own narrative. What's wrong with it? Yeah? AEW protect their own narrative. AEW are bringing out a product called My AEW, where they're going to get all the independents and put their independent shows on the My AEW app. So they're having their own one. Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with it. Yeah. Who cares? Why do people get themselves all stuck up about this? The Observer Radio is basically AEW show. Yeah. It's just I don't get it. People just get so upset about nothing. So it's Busted Open Radio is not going to talk about AEW anymore. So let's face it, at the end of the day, David Whittaker, who's a massive WWE mark, Bully Ray, who's a WWE mark, Tommy Dreamer, they've got all these ex-WWE guys on the radio station in a way. They let Thunder Rosa go because, anyway, who wants to listen to Thunder Rosa? It's just, I don't get it, man. Here's a pause. Yeah, I agree, Daz. Jay, thoughts on Grayson Waller last night? Best promo in WWE since the beginning of the year. In NXT, SmackDown, or Raw. Great promo. He looks great at the moment, Grayson Waller. Hopefully he can redevelop himself and come back. Grayson Waller is very good on the mic. Very good on the mic. And I thought it was a great promo. Great promo. But that's my thoughts on wrestling right now, guys. My thoughts on wrestling right now is the tribalism is ridiculous. You should just like what you like, and watch what you want. You go like something in one product, you go like something in the other. I like stuff in AEW. There's stuff in AEW I really do like. And there's stuff in WWE I love. I'm a WWE fan more than I am an AEW fan because I've watched WWE for 30 plus years. I'm from England. In England, the main wrestling you got was WWE. You got a bit of WCW as well, which I was a massive fan of. I used to love Nitro. I used to record Nitro on my VHS tape on a Friday night. And then 2 hours later, I'd then go and record Monday Night Raw, which we got on the Friday back in the day before it was live. I loved it all. Love everything about it. But there's things in both companies that piss me off. But I use AEW as an alternative. I don't look at them as competition. They're not competition to WWE because WWE is gigantic. Never will be competition, ever. But AEW should be shown as an alternative, and that's what they are, as an alternative. They wrestle their way. They're a more ultra-violent, hardcore wrestling fan base, right? WWE is more commercial, child-friendly, right? It's just the way it is, yeah? So there's things I like over there. There's things I like over there. When AEW do cage matches and their version of War Games, for me, they do it better in WWE because it's meant to be violent. It's meant to be blood and guts. It's a cage match. So for me, they do that better. I want WWE to do cage matches in that way. It should be bloody, should be violent. But there's things I like on both. But my main pet peeve, mainly with AEW more than WWE, is the psychology of wrestling. And AEW psychology of wrestling just drives me mad. I watch a Young Bucks match. There's 27 super kicks, jumping tombstones, frog splashes, and everyone kicks out of one. And I'm like, yeah, well, what's real here then? Like, no one's selling anything. They all super kick each other, stand right back up, super kick the next person, stand right back up, do a swing blade, it's just like, none of this looks real. It's just stupid. But there you go. Yeah, AEW is like, right. So everyone knows Tony Khan's favorite wrestling promotion growing up was ECW. Tony Khan weren't really a WWE guy. He says that himself. He preferred when he was a kid watching, WCW, ECW, and the independents like Ring of Honor. They were the things he watched. And if you watch AEW, it's basically ECW on steroids. That's what it is. It's got a mix. It's got a little mix of WCW's promotion and the product and the way they do things mixed with a lot of ECW. That's what AEW is. That's what Tony likes, man. And more credit to him. As I said, this is not me hating either company. I've got time for both. I watch everything. But I think we're allowed to say what we don't like and what we like. Now, too many people get upset. You can't say anything bad about AEW. WWE fan. You can't say anything bad about WWE. It's just getting stupid. None of them are perfect. None of them. But watch everything, man. And look, the death matches stuff, as Connor says, they're not for me either. They're. I think it's a bit much sometimes. You know, sometimes I'm like that, and I can't watch it. You know, I don't want that always in my wrestling. I don't need. If I like, sometimes I watch AEW, yeah, and they're having a singles match. It's not like it's just a normal singles match, yeah, and both of them are busted open. I'm like, why are they both bleeding? Like, why is Ospreay bleeding in this match when it's just an everyday one-on-one match? Why have I got blood? I don't need blood in this match. It's like too much sometimes. So, yeah. Look, and WWE's commercialized, right? Like, let me finish on this quickly. So, obviously, WWE went to streaming, right? And this is what I'm not bothered by this as much as other people are because I understand how streaming works, yeah? I think people thought when WWE went to streaming services like ESPN and Netflix that it was all going to be ad free. How the fuck do you think people at Netflix and ESPN go and make their money if they don't put adverts on it? They go commercialize the shit out of it. It's just the way it is. Anyway, I knew that. Of course, they go commercialize the shit out of it. You know, Netflix are going to spend 500 or 600 million having Monday Night Raw on their thingy, yeah? They're going to need 500 or £600 worth of investment on that. So they got to put sponsorships in. They got to put ad breaks in. It's just the way it is, man. I don't personally care. I understand how streaming works. I watch UFC. UFC, since it went to Paramount, since it went to Paramount Plus, it's been more commercialized. More commercials, more sponsorships, more of this sort of stuff. It's just the way it is. These companies have got to make their money. Do I like it? No. Fucking hate it. I don't. All these commercials and sponsorships do my head in. But what did everyone expect, man? What did everyone expect? You know, Netflix aren't going to buy a company. Like, what's that? Not mine. Right. Netflix aren't going to own a company, right? And have a live show every week and a live PLE every week and not commercialize it. Of course they're going to. So it don't bother me as much. The only time it really pissed me off was WrestleMania. Me and Connor spoke about that. That's the only time it pissed me off. They took the absolute fucking piss with that. An advert every 5 minutes at WrestleMania was a fucking joke because it squashed down the times. So at SummerSlam, I'm hoping they've learnt their lesson. At Backlash, it weren't so. The PLEs after Mania weren't so bad. The matches had 10, 15 minutes. There were more time for their matches. At Mania, they just took the piss with the advert breaks. At SummerSlam, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, they've learnt their mistakes from Mania and don't put as many commercials on and just let matches flow and have their time. We don't need matches to be over in 7 minutes because you've got to go to a 4-minute commercial. So it happened at the World Cup, guys. The reason we had water breaks, hydration breaks every 20 minutes is so they can commercialize it. You know, that's the reason it is, man. So, yeah, I don't mind it. Mania was just too much. It was too much at WrestleMania. Far too much. In fact, I don't mind it because what it does to me, if I've just had a 20-minute match and they want to go to a 4-minute commercial, do you know what it does for me? Watching it at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning in the UK, it helps me go and put the kettle on and make a cup of coffee. And I'm not missing anything. So I'm like, I've got a 4-minute commercial now. Go and put the kettle on, get a cup of coffee, get some food, come back, commercial's over, get back on the action. So it's all right. But at WrestleMania, it was every fucking 5 minutes. It's too much. Hopefully they've learnt their lesson with that. And with that, guys, that is the end of my first ever live on my wrestling channel. I hope you've all enjoyed this. I didn't realise I went 2 hours. It's far too long. I've got another show at 10:30 on the Sanderson show, so make sure you get over there. Guys, I'm out of here. Big up to everyone. I'll be back I'll be back Monday night for my match reaction to SummerSlam. So I'll be back Monday night for the reaction to SummerSlam. Big up, people. Thank you very much for joining. Much love. See you soon. Bye-bye.